Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something I find super fascinating. The idea of what true greatness actually is.
Oh, yeah.
And to get into it, we're going to be looking at this blog post.
Okay.
From Positive Affirmations called True Greatness Lies in Serving Others. Lessons from Mark 10.45.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It uses this Bible verse as a jumping off point.
Okay.
And then they connect it with research and stuff and how we can apply this to our daily lives.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, me too.
It is a fascinating approach.
Yeah, and it's so different from what we normally think of when we think of greatness, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Usually we're thinking money or fame.
Yeah, achievements, possessions, all that.
Well, this blog post is nah!
Right, it completely flips the script.
Yeah.
Suggesting that true greatness actually lies in serving other people.
I love that.
Yeah.
And they jump right into this by bringing up Mark 10.45, where Jesus says, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many."
Yeah, a very powerful verse.
So powerful, right?
It is.
But also kind of whoa, what does all that mean?
You're right.
Son of Man ransom for many.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff for sure.
Can you unpack that a little for us?
Absolutely. So this verse is from the Gospel of Mark, and it's a moment where Jesus is talking to his disciples.
Okay.
And you have to picture the scene.
Okay.
They are actually arguing amongst themselves about who is going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Oh.
It's kind of funny when you think about it.
Yeah.
They're with Jesus and they're worried about status.
I know, but it's also so human, right?
Oh, totally.
We're always comparing ourselves to other people.
We are.
Trying to get ahead.
Absolutely.
And, get that recognition. So it's
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And that's what makes Jesus' response even more powerful.
Right.
He basically tells them straight up that true greatness isn't about being served.
It's about serving.
Yeah. It's a complete reversal of that whole power dynamic.
It's a whole new way of thinking about leadership then.
Exactly. It's servant leadership.
Servant leadership.
And the blog post uses Jesus as the ultimate example of this.
Okay, I like that.
And they describe this really vivid scene where Jesus washes his disciples' feet.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Can you imagine that?
It's wild.
The Son of God humbling himself to perform this really menial task for his followers.
So powerful.
Right.
And it really changes how we think about leadership.
It does. It really challenges our assumptions.
Being a leader doesn't mean you get to boss everyone around.
No, it's the opposite.
It's about serving others.
Yeah, putting their needs before your own.
Okay, so we've got Jesus as this amazing model of servant leadership.
Uh-huh.
But what does that actually look like in our lives?
That's the question.
Yeah. What does it actually mean to serve?
So the blog post defines it as, like you said, putting other people's needs before your own. But it goes beyond just doing things for people.
What do you mean?
It's about this genuine desire to help and uplift other people and support them.
So it's about the intention behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And that can look like so many different things.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, sure. So they list things like, sacrificing your time for a friend who's going through a hard time.
Okay, yeah.
Or offering encouragement to someone who's feeling down.
Mm-hmm.
Or using your talents to make a positive impact on the world around you.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really about being intentional about how you can contribute to other people's well-being.
So it doesn't have to be this big, huge thing.
No, not at all.
I don't have to be Mother Teresa to do this.
Exactly. And the blog post makes that point very clearly.
Good.
They even break down the core characteristics of servant leadership into this nice little table.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It talks about humility and compassion and selflessness.
Yeah.
But here's what I thought was really interesting. It doesn't just list those traits,
yeah,
as abstract qualities.
Yeah,
It shows how they were actually embodied by Jesus himself.
Okay, I like that.
When he washed the disciples' feet, that's an act of humility.
Right.
Healing the sick, that's compassion in action.
Yeah.
And ultimately, his sacrifice on the cross embodies the ultimate form of selflessness.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
So it's not just about these abstract qualities.
Right.
They're grounded in real actions.
And it makes you think, how can we bring those same qualities into our everyday lives?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the blog post challenges us to think about.
I love it.
They give some examples, how helping a colleague without looking for any recognition, that's a modern day example of humility.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Or offering support to someone in need, even if it inconveniences you. That's compassion.
It's taking those examples from Jesus's life
Exactly.
and like putting them into things we can actually do.
Yeah, translating them into actions we can take in our own world.
It makes it feel a lot more attainable.
It does, right. It's like, okay, maybe I can't perform miracles.
But I can hold the door for someone.
Right, exactly.
Or listen to a friend.
Yeah, it's about finding those small ways to make a difference.
And the coolest thing is that the blog post goes even further.
Oh.
It's not just about being a good person.
Okay.
It suggests that serving others actually leads to a more fulfilling life.
Really?
Yeah, tell me more about that.
So it's not just about self-sacrifice or anything like that.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that when we serve other people, we tap into something deeper within ourselves.
Okay.
And they mention how Jesus taught that giving is more blessed than receiving because it aligns us with God's love.
That's beautiful.
It is.
It's not just about the doing, it's about like connecting to something bigger.
Yeah.
And it gets even more interesting.
Don't tell me.
They bring in science. Yeah, they talk about how acts of kindness release endorphins in our brains.
Oh, wow.
So there's like a biological basis for this?
That's right. Those endorphins are like those feel-good chemicals.
Yeah.
And they reduce stress and boost happiness.
So being kind makes us feel good.
It does. It's like science and spirituality are coming together.
Wow.
To tell us that serving other people isn't just a moral thing to do.
Right.
It's actually good for us.
It's a win-win.
Exactly.
You make a difference and we feel good doing it.
It's not about denying ourselves.
Yeah.
It's about aligning ourselves with a greater purpose.
And that brings joy.
It does.
And fulfillment.
This is so cool. Like, I love this idea that serving others isn't just about like being a good person. It's about finding joy and purpose and like actually feeling good.
Right.
But I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels kind of overwhelming.
I get that.
You know, like life is so busy.
It is.
We all have our own stuff going on. How do we actually like make space for this? That's a really good point. And the blog post talks about this too.
Okay, good.
It emphasizes that serving others doesn't have to be these big, huge gestures.
Okay.
Or like these huge sacrifices.
Like, I don't have to quit my job and join the Peace Corps.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, good.
It's really about those small, intentional acts of kindness that you can incorporate into your everyday life.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of stuff are we talking about?
So they have this really great list
Okay.
of simple things like smiling at a stranger,
Okay.
holding the door open for someone, offering to help carry groceries.
Yeah.
They even mention just listening attentively
Oh, yeah.
when someone needs to vent.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's like a cheat sheet for being a better person.
Right.
And the best part is, like, these are all things we can do no matter what.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't take a ton of time or money or special skills or anything.
It's really empowering.
It is.
It's about like taking a moment to just brighten someone's day, make them feel seen and valued.
And, like, those little things can actually have a much bigger impact than we realize.
Absolutely. It's those little ripples of kindness.
They even include that cute illustration, right?
Oh, yeah.
The watercolor one?
Yeah.
With the person helping carry groceries?
Yes. I love that one.
It's so cute.
It is.
And it's like a reminder that serving others doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing.
Exactly.
But you know what really brings this whole thing to life?
What's that?
Are the stories.
Oh, yes.
That blog post shares those real life examples of people who are like actually doing this.
Yeah, putting it into action.
It's so inspiring.
Absolutely. Those stories are so powerful.
Like, what about Mrs. Johnson?
Oh, yeah, the teacher.
Yeah.
The one who noticed the withdrawn student.
Yes. Instead of just being like, oh, that kid's a problem.
Right.
She like took the time to actually see him.
Yeah, to really understand what he was going through.
And just by like listening and caring, she totally changed his life.
It's amazing.
It really shows how those small acts of service can have this ripple effect.
They do.
Like, it goes way beyond just that one moment.
It's not just about that one student.
Right.
It's about how he might then go on to impact other people.
Because someone cared.
Exactly.
Love it.
And then there's that story about David.
Oh, yeah.
The entrepreneur.
Yeah, he built his whole business around serving others.
Like, it's built into the company's mission.
Yeah. They donate meals with every product they sell.
It's incredible.
It shows that you can be successful and serve others.
You don't have to choose.
It's so inspiring to see these people actually living this out.
It is. It's very inspiring.
But okay, let's be real.
Okay.
We can't talk about serving others without talking about the things that stop us from doing it.
You're right. There are barriers.
Yeah, and the blog post talks about these too.
It does.
Like things like being scared of rejection or not having enough time and like our own selfishness.
Those are all real things.
Yeah, sometimes I hesitate to offer help because I'm like, what if they think I'm being weird?
I know what you mean.
Or what if they judge me or something?
Yeah.
And then there's the time thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already so busy.
We're all busy.
How am I supposed to add one more thing to my to-do list?
Yeah, those are valid concerns.
Right.
And the blog post gives some really helpful advice on how to deal with them.
Okay, good.
Like first it says, we got to have faith.
Faith.
Yeah, that serving is always worth it.
Okay.
Even if it feels hard or uncomfortable.
So it's like trust the process.
Yeah, and don't let fear stop you.
Okay, I like that.
And then they also say we need to shift our perspective a little.
Okay.
So instead of seeing serving others as like an obligation, like I have to do this, see it as an opportunity.
An opportunity.
Yeah, a chance to grow and connect with people.
So instead of thinking I have to, it's I get to.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's a much more positive way to look at it.
Yeah, totally.
And then finally, they remind us that time management is super important.
Okay.
It's not about finding more time.
Right.
It's about choosing what really matters.
Yeah, if serving others is something that's important to me, then I got to make time for it.
Exactly. It's about priorities.
It's so easy to fill our schedules with stuff that doesn't really matter.
It is.
But if we're really intentional about how we use our time, we can make space for the things that light us up.
And that allow us to make a difference.
And they have another illustration for this too.
Oh, which one is this?
The one with the person trying to climb a hill.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a hand reaching out to help them.
I love that one.
It's so good.
It's like we can help each other.
Yeah.
To serve others.
And to overcome those obstacles.
Yeah, it's a beautiful reminder that we're not alone in this.
Exactly. And it all comes back to that main message of the blog post.
Which is?
True greatness lies in serving others.
Yeah.
It's about following Jesus' example and living a life of humility and compassion and selflessness.
It's a powerful message.
It is. And it feels kind of radical in a world that's all about me, me, me.
It does. It's like going against the grain.
But in a good way. It's about making a difference.
And shining a light on other people.
Exactly.
The blog post ends with this really strong call to action.
Okay.
It's like they're saying, don't just think about these ideas. Go and live them.
I like that.
Yeah. And they want us to follow Jesus' example.
Okay.
To help people in need. To uplift those who are struggling.
Yeah.
And to share what we have.
They're saying don't just be a bystander.
Yes.
Get out there and do something.
But they also acknowledge that everyone's path is going to look different.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're not trying to tell us exactly what to do.
Right.
It's more about challenging us to think about how we can each serve others.
In our own way.
Exactly.
I love that.
And it all comes back to that question they leave us with.
The one about how can you embody the spirit of service?
Yeah, in your own unique way.
And what small act of kindness can you do today to make a difference?
Such a good question.
It is.
It reminds us that serving others isn't about following a set of rules. It's about finding our own way to make the world better.
It's about using our own unique gifts.
That's the guy.
It's so easy to get caught up in those big, huge gestures of service.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I really appreciate how the blog post brings it back to those small everyday things. We don't have to be out there building houses or,
saving the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really about those little things.
Like what kind of stuff are we talking about?
Well, it could be like giving someone a genuine compliment.
Okay.
Or really listening when a friend needs to talk. Or even something as simple as letting someone merge in front of you in traffic.
With a smile.
Yes, exactly. It's just about being present.
Yeah.
And looking for those opportunities to be kind.
It's interesting. We tend to think of greatness as something you achieve. Like by being better than other people.
Yeah, like it's a competition.
But this whole idea of serving others flips that on its head.
Completely. It's like the opposite of competition.
Yeah.
It's about working together.
Recognizing that we're all connected.
And helping each other out.
It's a totally different way of seeing things.
It is.
And I think it's so much better.
Me too.
I'm really struck by this idea of shifting our focus.
Oh, yeah. From what to what?
From what can I get?
To what can I give?
Yes. It's so powerful.
It is a powerful shift.
And it changes how we see ourselves, too.
Absolutely. It changes everything.
And it makes me think about the feeling you get when you genuinely help someone.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this deep sense of satisfaction.
Uh-huh.
It's different from achieving a personal goal or something.
It is. It's more meaningful.
It feels like you're connecting to something bigger.
Yeah, it's about purpose.
Like you're tapping into something fundamental about being human.
You are.
And I think that's what the blog post is really getting at.
What do you mean?
That true greatness isn't about what other people think of you.
Right. It's not about awards or recognition.
It's about who you are on the inside.
It's about having a good heart.
And letting that goodness flow out into the world.
I like that.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's your biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think for me, it's just this reminder that true greatness isn't about what we have. It's about what we give.
It's a powerful shift.
It is. It really changes how you look at things.
How about you? What's sticking with you?
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually feeling really hopeful.
Oh, that's great.
Like, yeah, the world can be a tough place sometimes.
It can be.
But we can all do something to make it better.
We can.
Even if it's just a small thing.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
It's like we're not just watching things happen.
Right.
We're a part of it.
We have the power to make a difference.
And that's a really good feeling.
It is. It's empowering.
So maybe as we go about our day,
we can all ask ourselves that question.
The one from the blog post.
Yeah. How can I embody the spirit of service today?
And what small act of kindness can I do to make a difference?
I love that. That's a great place to leave it.
It is.
So until next time, everyone.
Keep on serving.
Keep seeking, keep learning, and keep serving.